Hi, I'm Dave Barnett. This is my son Tim. Today we're going to show you how to carve and whittle a wooden lure.
Not only are we going to teach you how to carve the lure, but we're going to do it from start to finish. My dad here is going to be showing you how to carve it out, cut it, sand it and everything. I'm going to be showing you how to do the airbrush work, painting it, making it look like an official lure. It's going to be a really fun project. We hope you enjoy it and it helps you and everything. We got this site here. My dad's going to tell you a little bit about it.
We like to post everything on outdoorfishing.com. It's a really great website. Everything fishing. Got some of the greatest people on the country right here. It's a great place to join up with. Free to join. Make great friends. All kinds of information, nice tips, good things. Check us out at outdoorfishing.com. Great and wonderful place. We really hope you enjoy this video, and we hope that it'll encourage you to undertake a project like this of your own.
We thank you for watching, and we just hope you enjoy it.
Okay, to start things off with our lure making, one of the biggest things you need to watch about is the type of wood you use. To make all of my lures, I like to use white pine, a good white pine that's seasoned real well. I have a rather large stock of 1x12 white pine. It's been laying around for a few years. It's real good and well seasoned, sap's all out of it. And that's really what you need to look for. You need to watch, you need to make sure that you've got a good straight grain with no knots. The straight grain will help you whittle it a lot better, and it'll make the lure stronger in the long run. If you get a knot in it, it's going to play with you hard when you go whittling on it. So to cut it down and everything, you want to make sure, like in this board here, I've made several lures off of. But I've got areas of it where the grain is real good and straight, and then the knots are back here. So we're going to use this area right in here, as you can see, because both sides of it are good and clear and all of that. And that'll make it easier for us to whittle down. It'll also keep it lighter. If you get knots in it, the lure will have a tendency to be heavier on one side or another, and it may list. So always carry that in mind when you're searching for your wood. Make sure you got a good clear piece that's straight grain, and make sure it's seasoned well. If you get green lumber, like if you just go today and buy it from a lumber yard, that's good lumber, but it still has a high percentage of moisture in it. It's going to shrink over time, and in the end that's really going to mess your lure up. It'll cause your hooks, sets, your screws, things will work loose, the lure will shrink, the paint will crack, and all of that. So make sure you use a good dried piece of lumber.
Hello again. We're going to show you how to do the pattern and everything. I'm getting ready to draw it out. We're going to be doing a crankbait lure. First thing you want to do is get a picture of it in your head. We're going to do a diving crankbait. Best thing you want to do is figure out the design in your head before you start drawing. You want it to be aerodynamic and everything. Once I start drawing, as I draw it, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I'm doing and everything. But I've got the picture and my idea, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Once again, you want to make sure at first, you can do it light, drawing and everything. So I'm going to start by doing the bill. Nice little bill here. You want it kind of thick with the wood and everything. With it thick, you have a chance to have the sturdiness and everything, because that's where we're going to be setting our eyelet at. So I'm going to be drawing, start there, once I figure out how I want it. Kind of want it thick and everything. Kind of have it a little rounded a little bit. Alright. And then for the body, like I say, you want it to be aerodynamic, and you want it proportioned right with the bottom and the top so that way it don't lisp or anything on you. So the best thing you do is start with your back. Sorry about that. Start off with the hump, which is where your head's going to be. Just kind of taper it back off of the head a little. Kind of draw in a little lightly. Once we get it done, figured out like we want it, you can actually go back and darken it if you need. But then you got, on like the belly, you want to, but with the belly, you don't want to have it and the back of it, because you want the top to be a little bit bigger due to the fact of the weight and everything. So therefore, I'm going here and draw a belly. I'll come around, and then on the same thing on the belly, you kind of want to take it up and taper it into the tail. Because back here is going to be your tail here, so I want to kind of taper it up, bring it around, so that way it kind of tapers up and skinnies out to make your tail. And for there, kind of block this off, because you want to have a good steady back piece for your eyelets and your hooks and everything. So that way it won't break on you if you ever catch that big fish. But more of this, there's the idea that I got. Pretty easy, simple deal and everything. You know, I can go back in now, kind of darken it up a little. So I make sure I got my lines real hard. So when I cut it out, I can get it cut out the way I want it. Have a good pattern to trace out on the wood so I can get it cut. Make sure it's real nice and dark, because you want your lines nice and crisp and know where to cut it out at. Once you get it to where you like it, it's nice and aerodynamic, just right. So once we get that done, it's all next to the wood. Alright, we have the pattern cut out and everything, so we're going to go ahead and put it on the board so we can trace it out. Get it set on here like we want. Alright. Once we get it on there, you want to make sure you get it held down real good so it won't slide on you. You're just going to kind of trace around it real good. Make sure your lines are nice and dark, so that way you can see it when you're cutting it out and everything. Get it all done here. Right here you want to make sure you give yourself extra so you can turn around and everything when you're cutting. Plus you want this to be your basic shape when you get done, carving and everything. So we'll get it all traced out. Get it nice and dark so we can see it. Once we get it real good where we like it, you take your pattern off, set it off to the side. You've got a nice good dark pattern laid out on there, and it goes with your grain real good, so it'll make a nice and sturdy lure. So we're ready to cut it out and everything now. But get it all cut out and everything, and we can start carving.
Okay, now we're ready to cut this out. Kim's got it all laid out for us to draw down, got the pattern made. Before we start tracing our line, our scroll saw here that we used to cut this out with, it's only got a 15-inch sling. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to make us a smaller piece to work with so we don't have to turn the whole board through the whole saw. Okay, now we're going to cut the pattern out. We've got it all drawn out and everything. We're going to start our cut with our scroll saw here. We're going to start it on the front of the bill, on the front of the lip, going down like this. It's always best to start where you can come in on a crisp point and then come around on it. You always want to try to start at a crisp point and end on a cut off crisp point. If you try to come in on a curve or something like that, a lot of times you'll leave a little scratch or a divot. So it's always best to try to come in and end at the same spot. So that's what we're heading for right now. As I cut down through here, I'm going to try to stay outside my line just a little bit, because it's a finished product. It ends up being the right size instead of cutting it too thin and small. Pull my way around through here. That way when we get done, we'll have a nice, smooth, finished shape. Bottom side of the lure, as I get at it, I want to make sure that I go slow and steady, stay outside the curve. I want to push through, make sure we give it plenty of leeway because we're going to carve this down. As I make my final return, I want to hook out just a little bit on the end and then come up to it like this, and that'll clip the end. Now, what we should end up with when we're done is we should just be able to push it out like this, and it comes out just like a jigsaw puzzle. So we end up with our lure and our piece.